Hello everyone, take two of this season preview videos, or season preview video of the New York Rangers. And yeah, take two because the audio was not connected to my microphone and it was sounding really bad. But anyway, let's talk about the Rangers. Before we start though, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel and you like hockey and you want to stick around. I'm trying to do this as a full-time career. So, having said that, let's talk about the Blue Shirts. The original six team is coming off of a big year. They went 52, 24, and 6 for 110 points in their best regular season to date by points since the 2014-15 season, which was a really good year for that franchise that season. They ended up losing to the Bolts, I think, in the conference finals, but still a good year. Now, this season was also good enough to get them to a conference finals appearance where, guess what, they lost to the Lightning in 6 games. Something about Tampa Bay in the conference finals. Anyway, now that that high is over, what should we expect for New York? And can they follow up for the really good year they had last year and follow it up this season? We will talk about that with some storylines that I have for the team as well as of the expectations I have for the team this season and all that good stuff. Anyway, let's talk about the first storyline, which will be focused primarily on adjustments from last season's roster to this season. The team lost more than one noticeable guy. They lost Ryan Strome, Andrew Kopp, Alexander Georgiev, and some other guys as well via free agency or trade. I know Kopp wasn't there a long time, but all around they were missing some players. Will this be a big deal heading into this year? It could be. Yeah, you know, you look at the guys like Strome, he may not have put up video game-esque numbers for the Rangers, but he was able to help them out in terms of the 4th highest standing points above replacement total for the team. He was worth about 3 points above average this past season. He played a lot of minutes as well with Artemi Panarin, and someone or some people are going to have to fill in that void and get the honor to play with the very talented Russian player. So, this kind of keeps us going with our first storyline of who is going to step up for the Rangers, or who would you like to see step up. I'm going to say two youngsters, that being Kaapo Kakko and Alexis Lafreniere. You were looking at both of these guys. They were taken previous years high in the draft. Kaapo was taken with the 2nd overall pick in the 2019 draft, and Alexis was taken in the taken with the top pick in the 2020 draft. And to some degree, they both feel like they've kind of underwhelmed a little bit to start off their careers, especially Kaapo. I think, though, you're getting a really good chance for both of them to have breakout years this season. You're looking at the opportunity for both of them to get into the top 6, and this could be a great chance to get significant playing time. I'm really hoping this could be a good thing for the players as well, as Alexis hasn't got a great chance. He hasn't averaged over 14 minutes a night in either of his 2 seasons. I think like 13 and a half minutes each year or close to it. And Kaapo himself hasn't had a lot of minutes either in these 3 seasons. But now, after such a promising season, both will be relied on, especially early on, to see if they're capable of helping out their team on different lines. Lafreniere will be on the first line, which could be a blessing for him and his team, as they struggled heavily at 5-on-5 play last season. He, meanwhile, will be their leading goal scorer for 5-on-5 play since his NHL debut. Since his rookie year, he's been able to score more goals at full strength than anybody else, and that is good for him, as well as playing alongside Mika Zibanejad, who will possibly make it much easier for him to get in the zone and have a setup man who can get into the zone by himself and then possibly set up the youngster there, which is big for him. As for Kaapo, you look at him and you say this second line could be a blessing for him as he plays with Artemi Panarin and Vincent Trocheck. You look at these two guys and you think they're going to help him out, hopefully a lot, as Kaapo really needs to take fate in his hands and make the most of this opportunity. In general, he needs to shoot the puck more. Doesn't shoot as much as when he was over in Europe. I'd like to see him shoot more, and he has 2 guys that could take the pressure off. Panarin, in general, is a star. I don't know if you'd say superstar. Would you say he's a top 5, top 10 player? Of course, that's up for debate because everybody wants to debate the top 10, but a very, very good player that has a lot of offensive skill sets most players don't have. He can set up other players, and he can score goals at will as well. Or at ease, I should say. and get the puck into his own end, or into the offensive zone rather easily as well, which could be good for Capo to not have to be that guy to rely on. As for Trocheck, he could be a player that helps out as well, because he's going to get down low, get some shots down low, be aggressive on the forecheck, possibly set up Capo off the forecheck to get some goals. That would be really cool, and in general, maybe give Capo a chance to get a breakout season going. It's going to be interesting because he has been a black hole before offensively. Playing with these two, though, you have to figure there's going to be some career highs in that regard. As for the other storyline, or another storyline, we'll be talking about the offense for this team and what happens if the power play doesn't click like last year. The Rangers scored 22% of their goals on the man advantage last season, with the 4th highest goals for per 60. Meanwhile, things weren't so great at full strength play, as they had the 21st goals for per 60 at 5-on-5, while having an expected goals for per 60 that ranked 28th in the league. Big yikes. They were outshot in that time, as well as this was a trend we saw in the postseason against the Penguins and then the Hurricanes. There would be games where they would really be getting dominated in terms of chances, shots for, all that good stuff, and that was a big problem for them, as they finished 21st in the regular season for shots for percentage at 47.91%, just ahead of the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, not company you want to have right now. Having a power play that clicked last year, especially with Chris Kreider having 26 man advantage goals, that really did help. This year, I would say you're going to need some other guys to step up, because I don't see Chris having another 25 plus goal season on the man advantage. Now, like I said early though, Alexei could solve some of the issues in this area. But in general, you're looking at a team going from over-relying on Chris Kreider to have a career year to having a youngster that's just starting to see more minutes have to be a guy at 5-on-5, which is a little concerning, but I'd rather take the chance there. With a power play, you have to rely on getting penalties, where at full strength, you are always going to be getting a chance of that in a game, and to have Lafreniere to play that and score goals, which he has been able to do in his first 2 seasons at full strength, is more reliable than Chris having a career year on the power play. And then also Vincent Trocheck, guy we talked about here, he had a very good stretch, 2-year stretch, where he had a 2015-16 season with 19 goals at 5-on-5 and 17 goals the following season with the Florida Panthers, again at full strength. Now, he wasn't able to hit double digits until last season with 11 again, after having those really big years, but he could help out this team though, and that would be part of the solution, not the whole solution, but part of the solution if he's able to get those goals at 5-on-5 like Lafreniere. Have 2 guys that help out the team. They don't have to be as reliant on the power play. That would be good and more predictable than last season. Now, for the final storyline, we're going to be talking about Igor Chesterkin. He is the reigning Vezina winner and had about as good of a season as you could ever hope for to play if you are a netminder or a kid hoping to be a goalie in the NHL. These are the type of stats that you dream about, that you make up in your video games and all that. He winding up winning 36 games in the season, along with a .935 save percentage, a 2.07 goals against average, while stopping nearly 45 goals above average. Yes, a replacement level goalie would only give up 45 more goals than him. Crazy stuff. And yeah, it's pretty evident he was a good player and a key piece to this team being 1 round away from winning, or going at least to the final. Now, you're looking at him going into this season and you're wondering, could he have another Vezina caliber year? I do think if he doesn't, this team could take a little bit of a step back as a regression, as Yaroslav Halak will be their backup tendy, and he is not in a spot, I think, to put up great numbers, especially as a 1B guy or anything like that. You're probably looking at him to get 20 to 25 games this season, maybe a little bit more you'd like, but I really do not want them to have to rely on him to play a bunch of games if Igor regresses a little bit. The good thing is, I'm really not doubting that he could have another good year, but I think it would probably be a little bit more normal than last year. Last year was crazy good. To replicate that would be amazing, but you're thinking maybe just a little bit of a return back to normalcy, but still an above average goalie. But if he is able to have another good season or great season like last year, then you are legitimately looking at him being the best or one of the best goalies in the league as of right now. However, if he regresses, his team, like I said, probably regresses, as they finished 7th in the league standings overall last season. So yeah, if he has a great year, the Rangers are going to have a great year. It's as simple as that. The worst case scenario, though, would be this young Tendy being out for a long time with an injury, as the full effect of Georgiev being gone would be felt. Alexander was a guy that maybe didn't have a great finish with the Rangers, but is young, could have filled up the net plenty of times if Chesterkin was out with an injury and possibly had a bounce back year. Now you're hoping that Igor is not going to miss a lot of time, if any, but he is shown to be potentially a great goalie, so good things could be coming down the pipes, like I said. Having said all this, what are my expectations for the Rangers this season? I kind of gave it away already. I said if Igor is able to have a good year, the Rangers are going to make the playoffs. It's as simple as that. I'm not in love with their roster as a whole, but they do have some very appealing pieces. They've got star power. They've got potential kids that could be good with better opportunities. And they've got, like I said, a great goalie in between the pipes, which means that they could make the playoffs and be a team that make a run. Could they miss? Possibly. Like I said, Chesterkin being out would be a big problem for them, but I'm hoping that doesn't have to be the case. Could they also be a team that flames out early in the postseason? Yeah. Especially against a team that's deeper and that is more defensively talented, I think would be a big issue. But I'm really excited to see this team play, because when they do play, I think especially their top lines are one of the more exciting lines in the league, and they are all around a feel-good team. So what are your expectations though for the New York Rangers this season? I'd love to hear them. Let me know down below in the comments. Please also make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you are new. Sorry for rushing this one out, but when the audio got screwed up for these two videos, I had to redo them. But anyway, please make sure to stay safe, have a great night, and you go off hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.